A few years back, I was having a discussion with an African-American colleague of mine who was from Sacramento, and I believe we were corresponding. I don't know if it was on Facebook or on a phone conversation. She had moved to Maryland and was obtaining a PhD in the field. She had about a year left to write the thesis, and she had some really good job offers and some really good connections that would pay her six-figure salary, and life was on the up and up for her. Really, really was. Young, under 30, just had everything mapped out in her life. And we were talking about her next 5 to 10 years. And around this time, she had to be around 28, 29 years old. And she talked about the places she wanted to see. She always wanted to go to Paris. She had been to London, but never Paris. She wanted to go to Africa. She wanted to buy her own home. She wanted to get these cars. And there are so many things she wanted to do. But one of the most important things she wanted to do in the next 5 to 10 years, she wanted to have a baby. Now, I found that to be interesting because having a baby is probably in the way of those things. I said, well, you plan on getting married? She said, no, I just want to have a baby. I said, well, why do you want to have a baby without being married? She was like, for what? I don't need a man to be married to. I can have the baby, but, I don't want to be married to him. Like, what's the point in me needing him there? I'm going to be making $100,000 a year. I'm going to have all the other stuff, everything that I need. I can run my own life without some man trying to hold me back and trying to, limit what I'm doing in life. And then the discussion starts to get a little interesting. I said, well, do you always feel like you will, want to get married one day? She said that might change. And then we talked about some other things that was, off that tangent. But that stuck with me for quite some time. And then I started to really look into myself and ask the question, well, do women have the right to feel like this? And the answer is absolutely yes. Women can earn. They can do a lot of different things. They can own their own homes. They can drive cars. They can get corporate businesses or corporate jobs. Women do this. But nobody has a problem when women make these sorts of statements. It's perfectly fine. But what we are not noticing here is there's also another side of the story. That side of the story, especially with men in general, but let's say black men, to focus on this cohort, black men and men in general do not need wives either. Okay, now I know that might be the trick that people want to, believe that, this is why black families are not together. But if that's the argument, that women don't need men in marriage or relationships, who is the best prepared for that? Black men, okay? And this is a black show. My show is for men. I don't really, I do niche specific content, so everything is focused on black men. Black men can do all of the things that women do. Women always talk about they can earn, they can get money. And pretty much when they can say those things, they can reduce a man to not having anything. But the problem comes when black men say that I can cook better than you, I clean my own stuff better than you, and I don't need you here. At this point of the conversation, this inflection point, as Obsidian would say, it goes downhill from that inflection point to utter chaos. And see, the reality is, if that's the argument from a lot of women, and I'm not saying that all women have this argument, but black men can take care of themselves individually. Okay? Many of us can't. Do you know how many black men, if we're going to talk about cooking, let's just be honest. Barbecues and stuff like that, cookouts and, chefs. Let's just, I don't want to be mean. Who's winning that? Who's winning that, okay? Nobody's out cooking Negroes in any of that soul food stuff. We know who's running the food trucks. We know who's, listen. Okay? If that's what a brother needs a woman for, then most dudes can cook. Especially in the black community. They can cook damn well. If it's about cleaning, that's something, again, relatively very easily that a man can do. See, most men are not like my grandfather. Like my grandfather, he needed my grandmother to balance a checkbook and to do that and manage finances. That's not today's man. Okay? Just like today's woman doesn't need a man to help her and keep her financially distraught and hold money over her in the USA. No, women have access to education stuff too. But black men have access to that same education system. And even if it might not be university or collegiate all the time, black men understand that, hey, I can manage things by myself. I don't really need all of these things. Let's talk about that too. Because a lot of guys that are married, that push marriage and stuff, and I'm not a person that's against marriage, but we got to be honest. In marriages, the person who wins is really the woman. The person who loses is usually the man. A lot of stuff in marriages that black men buy, they would never buy those things by themselves. Most brothers don't need a whole lot of stuff, all right? If you put a black man by himself, the average brother, no matter how much he make, he don't really need no big house. He doesn't really need extravagant cars. He doesn't really need to have the reality to try to impress a lot of people, unless he's trying to impress women that much. He don't really need to do all that. The average brother who's making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, he might have a decent car. He might have, if he lives in New York City or Philadelphia or London, probably don't even have a car at all. Paris, most guys understand as they get older that to get attractive women, you don't really need a whole lot of stuff. You just have your own stuff. You can have a decent apartment. You can have a clean apartment. And get this, a lot of guys have spilled the milk about getting married that, hey, once you do get married, the sex does stop. At a certain point, it's not going to be cracked up all as it be. And another thing too is a lot of chicks are giving up the same things, if not more, when they're single. Now you have women who will say, you know what, you could have a pretty much a wife on demand situation. A lot of guys do this. Come over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, or whatever, few days out the week. We do what we do. You go home, I go home. This is convenience for brothers, right? A lot of guys don't want to be tied down. So the thing about it is, if women have no incentive to get married in the black community, then black men also, okay? And this is the downfall of feminism, where guys can come out and say, I'm totally okay with keeping all of the money I make. I'm totally okay with living in my own house. I'm totally okay with not giving to a unit of divorce. I'm totally okay with taking my trips to Brazil, taking my trips to DR, golfing, car shows, going to Vegas, building gaming systems. Hey, man, this is where we're at. And I think what the problem is that a lot of women in the black community, I think it could go both ways in different arguments. Outside of saying, I can cook and clean for you and have some babies, well, that's the only thing that a man would probably get married for now, is for children. But outside of that, almost everything brothers can do by themselves, outside of the sexual stuff and the baby. So as much as women can say that, black men, that burgeoning group, that first generation middle class, that second generation of middle class, hey, these guys have experienced life, been knocked down, and they know that, I got to take care of myself. A lot of brothers out there who would be the best fathers and best husbands, they understand this. Even guys like me, 38, I've never really lived with a woman before. Not a whole lot. I travel by myself. I go fly vacations by myself. I can go here, go there. Once you get used to that, man, it's hard to get away from that. Once you've been used to being an independent man like that and not living with a woman, like my dad, it's hard for him to live without a woman. He's been doing that since he was 20. But me, I don't have that problem. I like being by myself. It's something I found joy in, right? I find peace in being able to come to my house and I got my nice stuff here. I got my nice little TV. I don't watch it that much. But, I do what I want to do. I can order some Uber Eats. I can put some steaks on. I can go to the 24-hour gym. I'm good. And see, this is the issue. Brothers have spoken. So, guys, thank you for watching the video. Hit the bell, like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out the patreon.com/Negro Manosphere. That's our website. Black men helping each other, working together through media. Now, I'll tell you this. If you've never read an article on Negro Manosphere, before you decide to support it, go to the site and check it out. Look at the free comic I have. Look at the ebooks that we have. If you have a problem doing that, email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. I'll send you the ebooks. And this is what I'll say. Once you've looked at what we have to offer, $5 a month is what it will take to support it. Support Black Male Media. We have Obsidian writing, a couple other guys writing. We're under some changes right now, but we're coming back. Brother, support what black men are doing because we want to give black men a voice. And I've been building this NegroManosphere.com platform for almost 4 years. So it's only $5 a month. Black male media from the black male's perspective, working together with black men. So consider supporting us. Patreon.com/NegroManosphere, $5. You get videos and stuff like this on YouTube. And again, as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.